This whole conversation last night started after my mom invited my boyfriend, 20-year-old male, and me, 22-year-old female, to her Christmas party. My boyfriend is a quiet and very socially anxious person, so when he didn't seem too happy about going to the get-together, I figured he was just worried about getting overwhelmed. But I also felt that there was more to the issue because he wouldn't really articulate what he was feeling, which usually means the problem runs deeper than he lets on. He will say, "I don't know," until he can word it. After a while of circle talking and "I don't know," he finally told me that he's bummed because while he's glad my family likes him, he wishes that I could be that way with his family, that I could come to events with them. He said it made him sad to always go with my family, but that I never went with his. Important context: my boyfriend's father is a child molester. Yeah. His mother swept it under the rug because it would put her in a difficult position. She is undocumented and can't work. She really doesn't believe it happened to him, and his sister? At all, from what my boyfriend has told me. More context: I was a victim of the same circumstance as a child. However, the situation was dealt with. Prison, and I've never had to see my aggressor or that side of the family ever again. My boyfriend has sort of accepted that it is what it is, and nothing can be done about his situation. He has forgiven them and moved on. Let me stress that if someone forgives their aggressor, I respect their choice. However, I am not comfortable being around someone who hurt my loved one in such a way, and I am definitely not comfortable being around an aggressor as a victim myself. It just feels gross to think about. I point-blank told him that while I have no problem getting to know his brother and sister, I will never be friendly with his parents. He said that I wouldn't have to be friendly, but if I went to events that they'd also attend, I could just be civil, nothing else. I told him no, I wouldn't do that. I told him that I won't play along with this delusion that something extremely fricked up didn't happen, and that I have even a shred of respect for them. If I so much as have to shake his father's hand, I feel like I'd get sick. I told him that I don't care how many years it's been. I don't care if he was drunk. I don't care if they've forgiven him. I'm not comfortable around chomos and enablers, and I will never feel anything but disgust for them. Then I said, if this is something that will keep hurting you, weighing on you, then you should probably think about what it means for us. I have no problem never speaking a word to them, but if it will eat at you, consider what you want to do. This seemed to really hurt him. He got quiet and told me that he understands and that he's sorry. Then he held me until he went to sleep. I stayed up crying. I'm genuinely torn. I know my stance won't change, and I'm okay with that. It's a boundary I've accepted setting. But family is important to him, and I know he wants me to be a part of it too. I just can't. I anticipate that this is something he'll forget about until he's reminded. He looked so hurt, and I hate that. I feel like I worded everything too harshly, or maybe I'm being unreasonable because I refuse to be in the same room as them. Am I being immature? Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot kid lovers never deserve civility. The victim desiring that cannot change reality, no matter how badly the victim wishes it could. If pretending the intimacy aggressor he maintains regular contact with did nothing wrong is a condition of dating him, he will never be able to date a decent person with normal values. Encouraging this family act can only harm him and others. Either he drops his demand you be civil to a child toucher, he gets therapy, or you break up. That is not even getting to the safety aspects of it. For example, there is nothing stopping a child aggressor from rapping adults too. His future kids and all future kids in the family are in danger. And worst of all, the longer he refuses to deal with this, the more likely it is he will become an aggressor himself to cope with the trauma he refused to face in a healthy way. Comment 2. As much as you love the guy, think long and hard about if he is really the guy for you. If you have kids and he says his parents will be in their lives, not much you can do about it. Legally, his father is not a convicted child aggressor, and you would not be able to keep your kid away from his dad if your boyfriend gives access. If your boyfriend asking you to be around his parents is too much for your boundaries, that is understandable. Sure, you are a jerk for saying it the way you did, but realistically, I would not be civil either. Now, for the update. After that conversation with my boyfriend, things got really tense between us. It's like we're walking on eggshells around each other, trying not to bring up the elephant in the room. But it's always there, lurking in the background of every interaction. The day after our talk, my boyfriend went to his family's house for a small gathering. He asked me one more time if I wanted to come, and I could tell it was hard for him to ask. I said no again, and he nodded, looking really disappointed. He left, and I stayed home, feeling like the worst girlfriend ever. I spent the whole evening overthinking everything and wondering if I was being too harsh. Later that night, he came back and we didn't talk much. He just said it was fine and went to bed. But I could tell it wasn't fine. He's been more withdrawn since then, and I can't help but feel like I'm the cause of his sadness. The next day, I tried to make things better by suggesting we do something fun together, just the two of us. We ended up going to a movie, but even that felt off. We were sitting next to each other, but it felt like there was this huge gap between us. We laughed and tried to enjoy the date, but the joy was forced. It was like we were both pretending that everything was okay when it clearly wasn't. Yesterday, things got even more complicated. My boyfriend's sister called me. She's always been really nice to me, and I've gotten along with her pretty well. She said she noticed that I never come to family events and wanted to know if she did something wrong. That conversation was tough. I didn't want to lie to her, but I also didn't want to tell her the real reason why I avoid their family gatherings. I ended up saying something vague about having personal issues that I'm dealing with. She seemed to accept that, but I felt guilty for not being honest. After I hung up, I told my boyfriend about the call. He didn't say much, just that his sister probably meant well, but I could see in his eyes that he was thinking about the whole situation again. It's like every time we start to move past it, something brings it all back to the surface. Today, my boyfriend and I had another talk. He said he's been thinking a lot and he's not sure how to balance his relationship with me and his family. He said he feels torn and doesn't know what the right thing to do is. I told him I understood, but inside, I was screaming. I don't want to lose him, but I also can't give in on this. It's not just a simple disagreement, it's about my safety and my mental health. He suggested maybe we could go to therapy together, to talk to someone neutral about it. I agreed, because I want to fix this, but I'm scared. What if the therapist tells me I'm being unreasonable? What if they say I should just suck it up for the sake of the relationship? I don't think I could do that. So now we're in this weird place where we're trying to act normal, but there's this huge issue hanging over us. We're going to start looking for a therapist, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. I love my boyfriend so much, but I can't shake the feeling that this might be something we can't overcome. It's like we're stuck, and I don't know how to move forward from here. I keep replaying our conversations in my head, wondering if I could have said something differently, done something differently. But at the end of the day, I know I have to stand by my boundaries. It's just really hard when it feels like those boundaries are hurting someone I love. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. We're both trying to be supportive of each other, but there's this sadness that wasn't there before. It's like we're both mourning the relationship we used to have, even though we're still together. I just hope we can find a way through this, but right now, it feels like we're at an impasse, and I don't know what the right move is. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey there, I can't imagine how tough this must be for you. Have you two considered setting clear boundaries about family interactions that you're both comfortable with? It's great that you're open to therapy. A professional might help navigate this tricky situation. Remember, your well-being comes first. Comment 2. Oh boy, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Look, you're not a villain for setting boundaries, especially with a history like that. It's like trying to diet at a cake festival. Stick to your guns, and maybe therapy will be the GPS out of this emotional maze. Now, for the next story. Hello everyone, it has been a stressful couple of days, and my post got a lot more attention than I expected. It was overwhelming, to be honest. It has been a week since the funeral itself, and I have been talking to some friends, as well as reading comments on my last post. Truth be told, I have been hesitant to talk about this to my girlfriend because she is still depressed. She is not talking to me at all, and I have been taking care of everything around our place. She has just been laying in our bed. I have tried to talk to her, but she just shuts me out. I have been reflecting on our past relationship and realized a couple of things. My girlfriend was never as passionate with me as she was with her ex. She never did anything as romantic or thoughtful for me when compared to her ex. For example, she has never gone traveling for more than 3 days with me, but she traveled often with her ex, sometimes for years. It's not like I haven't offered, I was simply told to get over it, and that each relationship is different, and people said things like, if she wanted to be with her ex, she would be. Something else to note is that some of you actually pointed out another post to me, one that is about a girl going to her ex's funeral. I read the post, and I don't know if it is actually my girlfriend or not. Some details are different, like our age, we are both 30. Also, I never said anything about breaking up with her for going to the funeral. I wasn't exactly happy to see her mourn the guy who wanted to sleep with her while she was with me, but I didn't actually say anything. Now, that post admitted that she actually cheated. I thought about this for a second, but it doesn't matter, because if she cheated or not, I already broke up with her. I did have a talk with her. She refused to at first, not responding to me, but when I told her I was leaving, she finally said something to me. I basically told her that I feel like crap ever since she said those things at the funeral. How I feel like she would rather be with her ex than me. That I felt like her second choice. She started to yell at me, calling me selfish, and that she has lost one of the most important people in her life, and I shouldn't make this about me. I was too tired to try to yell back. My things were already packed up. I am staying with my parents for a while. Our lease doesn't expire for a few months, so I don't know what she's planning to do. I don't know what to do now. I thought I was going to marry this girl someday and have kids, but she wanted someone else all this time. I appreciate all the comments, and I don't know if I am going to post another update, but thank you. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. She may be grieving, but that still doesn't mean she gets a pass for what she said at the funeral or how she's treating you now. I hope you'll be able to find someone who truly appreciates you. Comment 2, not the idiot. I would dump her. That's total disrespect. Do a little exercise and compare her to your ex constantly. See how quickly she'll change her tune. Now, for the update. Since my last post, things have taken quite a turn. The days following my departure from our shared apartment were filled with a mix of relief and uncertainty. I've been crashing at my parents' place, which isn't ideal for a 30-year-old, but it's given me a temporary safe haven to sort out my thoughts and next steps. My ex-girlfriend reached out to me a few times, mostly through texts and a couple of voicemails. She's been apologizing, saying she's been dealing with a lot and didn't mean to take it out on me. I haven't responded yet. I'm not sure if I'm ready to or if there's even anything left to say. Work has been a decent distraction. My boss noticed I've been off my game and offered me a few days off to get my head straight. I declined, though. I figured keeping busy was better than sitting around with too much time to think. I've been spending more time with friends, too. They've been great, inviting me out, trying to keep my spirits up. We've hit a few local spots, watched some games, and just hung out. It's been nice to feel supported and not just sit alone with my thoughts. One thing I've realized is that I need to focus on myself for a while. I started going to the gym more regularly, and I've been reading some self-help books that friends recommended. It's a start, and it feels good to take control of something when everything else feels like it's in disarray. I've also been looking into getting my own place. The lease at the apartment is something I'll have to deal with eventually, but for now, I'm scouting out new locations, maybe closer to work or in a neighborhood with more to do. It's a bit exciting to think about a fresh start, even if it's born from less than ideal circumstances. As for my ex, I've heard through mutual friends that she's been going to therapy. I'm glad she's seeking help. Despite everything, I don't wish her any ill will. I hope she finds the peace she needs and can move forward in a healthy way. I've also been doing some reflecting on our relationship. I think I've come to understand that we were in different places emotionally. Maybe we always were. It's tough to admit, but it's helping me come to terms with the breakup. I've even started to dip my toes back into the dating scene. Nothing serious, just a few casual meetups with people from a dating app. It's more about socializing and reminding myself that there's a whole world out there than finding a new relationship right away. The other day, I had a moment of clarity. I was walking through a park, the sun was setting, and for the first time in a long while, I felt okay. Not happy, not sad, just okay. And that's a start. I've also been thinking about what I want in the future. I still want to get married, have kids, but now I know I want that with someone who truly chooses me, without any lingering doubts or what-ifs. It's a lesson learned the hard way, but it's a valuable one. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I'm starting to feel hopeful. I've got a support system, a plan to better myself, and a newfound understanding of what I want out of life and relationships. I guess you could say that while the past few weeks have been some of the toughest in my life, they've also been a period of significant personal growth. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm on a path that feels right, and that's something to look forward to. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey there, I just want to say that your feelings are completely valid. It's tough to feel like you're not someone's first choice, and it's even tougher to walk away. But you're doing the right thing by focusing on yourself. Keep hitting the gym, reading those books, and surround yourself with people who make you feel valued. You're on the right track to healing and finding someone who'll treat you as their priority. Comment 2. Man, I've been in a similar boat. Found out my ex was still hung up on their past flame, and it stung like hell. It's like you're living in someone else's shadow, right? I took up hiking and photography to clear my head. It's all about finding what makes you tick again. Stay strong and keep moving forward. You'll find your groove again, just like I did. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.